My name is Robert Skokos. I asked my father if I could introduce him today because I'm so proud of him. My brothers and I have learned many lessons about life from him, especially love of country. His dedication and belief in the founding principles of this country are paramount. It didn't surprise us when he said he'd run for governor. I've always loved his favorite quote from Thomas Jefferson, "One man with courage is the majority." My father has dedicated his life to see that America become energy independent. Even when people told him he could never economically develop tar sands and oil shale, my father took that as a challenge. He has now done it, and it will provide thousands of jobs here in Utah. My father will be the first to tell you that he is not perfect, but I've never seen anyone like him who never gives up. He is my hero, and as a father and grandfather, there is no one better. It is with great honor that I present to you the man who I believe should be the next governor of the state of Utah, Mr. William Skokos.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Utah is a state with a proud heritage. We have ingenious inventors and entrepreneurs. This is a state with a hard-working labor force and creative genius. We should be proud of what we've done here in Utah, and we need to reward initiative every time we see it. Utah has a lot to offer the rest of the nation, but before we can do that, we need to clean up our own house. And there is some cleaning to do. As a nation and a state, we face challenges that those who came before us could never imagine. Utah needs new leadership to meet those challenges that will come before us. We need leadership that encompasses strength and decisive action. The last thing we need are additional politicians who wait to see which way the political winds are blowing to make a decision. That's not leadership. Ronald Reagan once said, "There's no limit to what you can accomplish if you don't care who gets the credit." I tell you today, beware of politicians who take credit for things that are created by the free market system. Remember, government doesn't create anything, and neither do politicians. We've been told in this election not to listen to anything politicians are saying, especially those that are running in the governor's race. Ask the people, ask the experts why Utah is doing so well. Well, I did. And I spoke to Karen, who lives in Tooele, that's here today. She's battling cancer, and her husband is a school teacher and can't pay the bills. I talked to Julian Payson, who's a teacher who has to pay for school supplies. Richard in Harriman, who's lost his job. Ken in Ogden, who's a small business owner who had to lay off 2 of his employees he's had for years. I've also talked to the former chief economist for the state of Utah, who says the Utahns are not getting the true picture of the status of Utah's economy. And the legislature is not either. Is Utah truly the best managed state? I guess it depends on whose numbers you're using. I talked to a hospital administrator that said we cannot sustain the amount of illegal immigrants coming into the hospitals, using up vital services that are meant for Utahns. These people are our friends and our neighbors and our church members and our relatives. Do you know that everyone in your neighborhood is doing well? I certainly don't. As governor, I will never yield to political correctness or the influence of campaign contributions, or give away our precious water. And I'll never prevent public access to records. This is your government, and they're your records. I will also not allow us to get into another debacle like Common Core. Let me ask you, are you better off than you were several years ago? If you're content that Utah has one of the highest unemployment rates in our history and is number 2 in the loss of blue-collar jobs in Utah, and business development has dropped for these past 5 years, then I'm not your candidate. If you're happy that we're still taking Obama stimulus money for projects that are unnecessary and that you're paying $4 a gallon for gasoline, I am not your candidate. And if you're happy that we're spending over $450 million on illegal immigration, I'm not your candidate. And if you're content that Utah is 42nd in the nation in education quality and you love Common Core, I'm not your candidate. But if you like bold, decisive leadership, someone who's going to protect your families and bring business leadership to Utah and go toe-to-toe with the federal government on Utah's sovereignty and attack problems before they arise. I am your candidate. You delegates have a tremendous responsibility to set the course for Utah. You have a solemn obligation to seek out the best candidates, even if that means you have to change your mind today. Because remember, what you decide today also affects you and your families. Norm Bangerter used to say, the best governor for the state of Utah is still the governor. Well, he was a great governor. But post 9/11, I want to say the best governor for the state of Utah is a businessman who's ready to get down to business. We need a businessman in the White House, as well as we need a businessman in the governor's office. Give me your confidence today by casting your vote for me as governor. And if this goes to a primary, I believe I'm the candidate best suited to face an incumbent and bring new direction to Utah. I'm William Skokos, and I want to be your governor. Thank you very much.